Retro Plays, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, this is alright save. I'm just gonna double check that I have everything set up. Pokemaster, Cyan Noibat, oh geez, welcome to the stream, guys. Alright, looks like everything is good to go, so we're gonna get started here. Clorox, welcome back to the stream. Alright. Back with the Charmander hunt today, guys, so no weird RNG to deal with. I stopped at 151 encounters. We did, oh geez. We got pretty close to... We got over 100, and you know, the stream was going well, so we went a little bit farther. And I was going to stop at 150, and then someone was like, no, do 151. So, for all the cleverness of Kanto, we did 151. And Grungy Games, welcome to the stream. Prepare for trouble and make it snubble. Snubble, snubble, snubble. Alright. Let's see if I can actually remember how to do this one properly without messing it up too much, because it's so different from Trico's. But Trico's I can go back to no problem, because like we've done it for so long. So this is like, I gotta remember actually to check the summary to see if it's shiny or not. I called you OGs? I thought I called OGs OGs. Lead speaker, welcome to the stream. And Nuno Bastos, welcome. Alright guys, so looks like I have remembered how to do it. So, see how many times I accidentally try to nickname the Pokemon? Hopefully, it looks like we should be at least able to get to 250 to 300. This hunt does take a little bit longer than, it does take a little bit longer per encounter than Trico, mainly because I keep doing stuff like this. But, did I get the Trico? I have not, Anthony. Yeah, we decided before, not last stream, but the stream before, the first Charmander stream, I had asked people what they want me to do in terms of mixing up the shiny hunts, because basically we had been going for 25 straight streams of Trico, and it was kind of getting to the point that a lot of people were like, oh, another Trico stream, we still haven't gotten this thing, you know, it's kind of getting a little boring, stuff like that, I understand. So I put up a poll and asked, like, you know, what should we do? So I said, one of the options was like keep doing Trico, or just stop Trico for a while and do Charmander. But the most popular option was just alternate between the two. So that's what we've been doing. You have an after-school club every day, so you'll either be a little late for the streams or not watching the streams at all. I'm sorry to hear that, Pokemaster. I know that I changed the streams schedule a bit, and it's going to mess with a lot of people. It's going to mess with some people, I understand. And I'm sorry that that's happening, but it's a matter of this is the schedule that works for me now, unfortunately. Like, things changed a lot when I went back to school. But I am glad to see that you'll stop by when you're able to. You're on a tablet that's 3 years old, so you will never be first. You never know. It's more of an internet thing than a processor thing, to be honest, with tablets. And loading a YouTube video is really not, you know, that big of a deal with them. Guys, it would be so hype if we got I almost said if we got Trico this stream. That'd be pretty interesting. Managed to get a Trico. That'd be pretty funny. But it would be pretty hype to get the Charmander this stream. That would be awesome. The tablet's so slow. I understand. I have some old phones and stuff I have one old phone that like I still have around just because I haven't pulled everything off it. You know, like I still have pictures and music and stuff on it that I don't have on my new phone. That I slowly move off, and yeah, it takes like 3 minutes for the thing to turn on now. Just because of how much stuff was on it and how out of date it is. It was on like Android. It like stopped getting updates at Android 5. Like it got the first update that messed with the phone, and then Samsung went, nope, we're not touching it anymore. We're done. That was the last one, and it was kind of broken for like, basically software-wise, it was broken for forever, and it like wouldn't load things or would crash, and it was terrible. And so like it was on Android 5, and Android 8 is like literally within days of coming out. That's how old the software was, and that was the last update that phone ever got. So it's a pretty old phone now. So I understand where you're coming from with the loading thing. You left for a minute and nothing happened. not much has happened, Pokemaster. We have still just been, I mean, you probably could just hop right back in the middle of the same part of the encounter, but yeah, in the same theme as the Trico hunts, this one's, it's a little bit slow, you know. It's not a, it's not gonna be, you know, a fast hunt, like, relative to SOS training or something. First like, you guess? Well, thank you for the like, Clorox. I appreciate it. I appreciate when you guys like the videos, because it helps spread them. It helps let more people find them, which is pretty awesome. James Bauer, welcome to the stream. Did I play the randomizer? I am so sorry. I apologize. I haven't had a chance to look at it. You know, I'm gonna do right now is I know you sent me the DM and I have it. Like, I have it downloaded. I just need to like get it set up and like have it open in a window after the game's after I get done. So give me like 2 seconds to download or to set it up. Not download. I already have it downloaded. I need to unzip it is what I'm trying to say. Extract to randomize fire red. Sorry guys for the weird pause here, but alright. Alright, we're good to go now. Tron, I will be able to check that out immediately after the stream now. I apologize that I haven't gotten back to you sooner on that. Don't, you're making a different but better one. Alright then, alright. So I'll wait for that one then. I looked away and did all of that while you were saying that, so yeah, I'll just wait for a different one now. Jeremy Clare, welcome to the stream. One, two, three, you're done. What were you saying, Pokemaster? Natsu, you finally made it to the stream. Welcome back to the stream, man. Kappa Man, how's it going? It's going pretty good. I got home from school a little while ago, and I've been doing some stuff, and managed to finish it up with time to actually not mess up the information for this stream. Last stream was a Trico hunt, but it started out with all the description of the Charmander just because I was so rushed. But yeah, today's been good. Had 3 classes. None of them were too difficult. How's it going with you, man? You subbed to all the mods. Well, there you go, Clorox. I don't think any. I think Indy used to post stuff. I don't know if he does anymore. I know. I don't think Brad or Queen have posted anything. X-Rider, welcome back to the stream. You said 2 seconds, and you counted for me. I got you. I got you now, Pokemaster. I was wondering what the countdown was, and then you're done, and I'm like, what am I done with? You got Chick-fil-A today? It was okay. Chick-fil-A is pretty great. Like, personally, I really like it, but, that may just be because of where I'm from, but growing up in the on the east coast of the U.S., Chick-fil-A is pretty popular. Yeah, Chick-fil-A is pretty good. I love it. I regret when I eat, like, too much of it, though. Like, if I, because, like, there's a Chick-fil-A on campus, and, like, most campuses have that, because Chick-fil-A. But, like, there will be days, like, a week where I'm really lazy, or I'm really craving it, and I'll eat it, and then, like, by Friday, it's just like, why did I do that? Like, it's not even the food that tastes bad. The food still tastes great, but it's like, I just feel bad because I ate so much. Because obviously, you know, you feel bad if you eat like, fast food for lunch for a straight week. Like, no duh. But it's just, you feel like, meh. But, like, if I have it, like, once a month or something, it's pretty good. Today, you just found a 4th uncatchable Poochyena after 45,981 resets. Copy, man, that's just, oh, that's terrible, man. Hopefully you get the actual shiny soon. Yeah, in Sapphire. I figured, because if you had found uncatchable shinies, first off, you mentioned Poochyena, which means it's not Emerald. But if you had found uncatchable shinies in, like, Emerald, you could easily find multiple, obviously, but then you wouldn't get that far. Like, you wouldn't keep going for that long after getting one. Like, it just, I feel you, man. I feel you. Do we think we could reach 575 subscribers this stream? It's possible, Pokemaster. I don't know. It's really interesting seeing some streams get like randomly some streams get like extreme amounts of traffic compared to others, and I'll go up like 70 or 80 subs. Like, if we look at one of the best days the channel's had in terms of growth during a stream, we could hit 600 today. But if we look at other days, like, the average is somewhere around like 10 to 20 subs normally. So like, I don't know, it's really a mixed bag. I don't know what causes some days to be better than others, but yeah, so it's really weird. And it's like, yeah, it's possible we could hit 575, it's possible we could hit 600, it's possible we might get to, I think it was at like 540 or 554 or something when I started. We might get to like 560 tonight. Like, that's just, it's really weird, yeah. I don't know. I think it's just like, because it's still a pretty small stream, you know. So like, it doesn't get recommended to too many people, I don't think. Although you've never had a chance to see Brad's channel, and click the click sub, so you can't sub. Ah, so you haven't still subbed to Brad's. Yeah, I don't think Brad's actually posted anything. I think he just, like, his channel's just like mine used to be, where it was just for subbing to different things. You hunt Torchic for more than one. You've hunted for Torchic for more than 1 year, and you've already found 4 Buchienas, and you recorded all of his. Ah, Capman, four uncatchable shinies. That just, because it's, yeah, it's not really. But it's basically like 50-50 if it's the Torchic or it's the Poochyena. And to have it be the Poochyena 4 times, that's... Oh, that's awful, man. I feel for you there. I keep forgetting about all of the like summary stuff here and just like trying to let it play, but it takes forever. Sorry for your bad English. Your French, that is okay, Kappa Man. There are a lot of people in this chat whose first language is not English, so there's no judging here for, you know, little grammar mistakes and stuff. You're trying. No one's gonna judge you for trying. Lead speaker, you're French too. Really? That's like the most people here I've seen. From France. I think there was one person. There's one person who came into a lot of the early streams who was from France. Tommy's awesome channel. Welcome to the stream. Victor Hugo, did I give up on the Trico or did I get it? Neither. We decided a couple days ago, like over the weekend, I had posted a poll on the Discord that I have linked down in the description. I was off camera. Down in the description. Basically asking people, you know, what should we do? Because we've been going for Trico for so long. It was kind of getting boring. A lot of people were a little bit like, I had seen like 1 or 2 comments about like people like, oh, I'm still going for Trico, as well as a lot of people talking in chat occasionally that I'd like respond to, asking like, why are you still going for this thing? This is kind of crazy. You should have gotten it by now, or like, you know, I'm tired of Trico. And I kind of agreed a little bit, you know. So what we decided to do is we started alternating between Charmander and Trico, because I had told people that I was going to be hunting Charmander for a while. So that's why we're doing this. So we haven't given up on it, and we haven't caught it yet either. If we catch it, it'll be in the previous capture box right above my head. It's every day with that shiny, every day, bro, with that shiny hunting flow. Oh boy. Pretty much every day. Like, even when I'm not streaming, I have my 3DS with me, and I'm currently trying to catch a second shelter. I took a little bit of a break from SOS chaining and Sun and Moon to try to get like, I guess to focus more of my shiny hunting hype on the streams over the summer, but also because like I had a job, so I couldn't exactly shiny hunt at my desk at work. You also hunt for Charmander in Fire Red. At the moment, you're at 2193 resets. Hope I'll get my shiny quickly. I hope so too. Thank you, Capman. I hope we get it pretty soon as well. I'm hoping some of the luck or lack of luck we've had with Trico we find in this hunt. Yeah, if this one ends up going up to 7,002, then we know that these games are just cursed for me. Your first language is English. Your second is Pig Latin. You know a bit of sign language. You might try to learn Italian. Really, Pokemaster? Like I've considered like learning some other languages. Like I'm taking Japanese right now. But yeah, like sign language is like a pretty cool one actually, because you know that one's like, you know, all languages are kind of like helpful in ways, but like sign language is one of those really cool ones, I feel. Mau Mau, welcome to the stream. Your first language is Greek, your second is English, and your third is French. Really? And you're trying to learn Italian. That's awesome, man. So I'm always impressed seeing people who know really 2 languages even, because I only know 1, like, well. But people who know more than 2 are just like, insane to me, kind of. You know, not in a bad way or anything, but just like, that's really impressive, for me at least, you know? It's like, I struggle to learn a second language, and some people are like, oh yeah, I'm on like my 4th. Like, I'm considering learning another one. It's like, that's just really cool. It's really cool. You also write English, Spanish, and Greek. Really, Clorox? That's cool. Dang, Captain Man. Everyone in here is like super bilingual, or like super, I guess not bilingual, because bilingual is just 2. But like, there's a lot more people that know more than 2 languages in here than I would have thought. Your keyboard doesn't support Greek. Yeah, I guess Greek needs some different characters, doesn't it? You only can speak French, English, and a little Spanish. That's still really good, you know. I guess it may be different because, like, I guess more European countries, it's like common, and really anywhere except the U.S. or like except English-speaking places, it's pretty common to learn English as a second language. So, you know, for me, it's like super cool to see people learning more than 1 language, because really all that the U.S. kind of does is like in high school you're required to take like 2 years of a foreign language, and generally it's like Spanish or something, and then that's it. Then you're done. You can forget it all. It doesn't matter anymore, and you never really learned it in the first place. You learned enough to take some like multiple choice tests and read at a 2nd grade level or something, and that was it. And then like I forgot all my Spanish by the time I graduated. So I guess for me it's like a lot more impressive than it would be for you guys to hear like some people say they spoke a lot of languages, just because I only know 1. Jessica Bailey, wait, did I get the Trico or just give up? So, like I said a little earlier, not really either. We're still hunting Trico, but we're alternating between Trico and Charmander now, just to kind of mix things up a little bit. You might delay learning more sign language because when you take Spanish in 7th grade, you'll have 4 languages on your plate. It might, yeah, that might be a smart idea, you know, not to overload yourself. Especially, like, I guess you wouldn't want to get, like, parts of different things you learn mixed together a little bit. Believe me, if you're a Greek and you have a Greek-English keyboard, writing French isn't easy. Dolam Jr., why so early? So, this is like the new schedule. Basically, I moved the streams up because, the only reason they were so late before is because I was working over the summer. So I worked 9 to 5, but now that I'm at school, I'm done with classes by like 3, which means I have a lot of extra time on my hands afterwards. And I wanted to stream earlier anyways, because the way it was working before was the streams were ending super late. They were ending at like 10 o'clock at night, which basically meant once the stream was done, I really couldn't do anything social afterwards. Like, basically, dinner was about the time that my day ended, like, social-wise, you know? Because after dinner, I set up the stream, and I got ready, and then I would stream for 3 hours until, like, 10 o'clock at night. And then there was, you know, nothing really to do after 10 except hang out on my computer more. So what I did in college, because now I'm in college and I can stream earlier, is I'm starting at 5 and going to 7, but I'm streaming 4 days a week on top of that, so it's not like we're losing hours because I'm shortening them. And it gives me, like, that time from 7 to whenever I'm going to bed to hang out with friends or do things I need to do. Like, I can still run to the store if I need to at that point, you know? I'll never get it. Well, never say never. But, basically, you know, it's just a matter of persistence. We'll get it at some point. You just turn on your DS Lite to hunt for Torchic, and you'll watch your live stream at the same time. Awesome. Awesome, Captain Man. It's always cool seeing other shiny hunters, like, watching this kind of in the background. Because that's what I do with other streamers myself. Lit Ant, did I get the Trico? I have not gotten the Trico, actually. If I had, it would pop up in that previous capture box. But basically, the streams had been going for so long with that one. We were at 25 streams, like straight Trico streams, and that was kind of getting excessive and a little bit monotonous and boring to people. So I figured I'd like ask you guys on the in the Discord server that I have linked below, like I said earlier, and I posted a poll there, and the response seemed to be that people wanted. Hold on. Yeah, guys, please avoid spamming in the chat as well as profanity. You know, just basically keep the chat open for discussion more. Spam blocks all of it. But yeah, so I posted a link to like a poll in my Discord, and the majority response was that we should take a break from Trico in some way, and the majority of that was saying like alternate it. Don't give up on Trico, but you know, like, add in Charmander as well. So now we alternate every other stream is a Trico stream, and the other ones are Charmander. You didn't shiny hunting with the Masuda, with the method of shiny EV because you didn't have time. You'll do it tomorrow. You don't have anything to do tomorrow. All right, well, I mean, good luck with it once you do it. You know, take your time. Whenever, don't like rush yourself to do it, obviously. But yeah, Masuda method's pretty cool. Yeah, KFC Bucket, I guess you asked that like as I was explaining it, so you may have heard. But yeah, so what we're doing is we're just alternating. We aren't done with Emerald. And even once we get Trico, we won't be done with Emerald. We'll go right back to it. Welcome back, Flora Frost. Welcome to the stream. Sorry if this sounds cheesy, but I inspired you to start streaming Hunt for a Shiny Suicune in Crystal because of how much fun I seem to have on my streams. That is awesome to hear, OGs. Like, that's like the best thing, honestly, that I could hear, is that I've, like, inspired other people to do this. Which, that's really cool, you know, that you see how much fun it is, and, like, I'm conveying that, and it's entertaining, and it looks enjoyable enough for you guys to want to do. That's really awesome to hear. That's not cheesy at all, man. You're late, Ryan Palmer. You're not really late. We've only been streaming a little over 20 minutes now. Vanillix, welcome to the stream. How old am I? I am 20. Oh, did you? Well, good thing. I did see you retracted a comment. I'm assuming that's the one. I appreciate you self-censoring because I'm not sure if any of my mods are able to be here right now. So, because you know they've got their own school stuff and their own things. But yeah, so I might be the only one modding the chat at the moment, so I appreciate you helping me out with that. Still no Trico, you assume? Yep, no Trico Majestic even. If we had seen one, it would be in the previous capture window. What's up? What's up, Mama? Yeah, we haven't done much here. I've just been doing school stuff, that's really it. I got my car back from the shop yesterday, which was exciting, so I could finally go get some groceries that wouldn't survive a walk back from the store. Basically like frozen things and whatnot. And what time is it? What time is it there for me? It is 5:23 right now. You got 3 shinies since the last stream. I saw, Ryan. Yeah, you posted those in the Discord, didn't you? That was pretty cool. God, man, you're older than me. Nice, nice. For Frost, how do you get mod? So, basically, it's going to be people that I feel I can trust with the power of being a mod, and it's not something that there's like a set guidelines for. Essentially, it's going to be completely up to my discretion as well as, you know, the current mods at the time. And like the way that like the 3 mods I have now came about is I've known them in real life for it, like all of them, 2 of them like almost my entire life, and the other one for like 10 years. So they're the people I really trust. They're people like I completely respect their judgment on things, and basically, you know, they're basically autonomous. You know, when they're in the chat, like I'm not pointing them out. Oh, these are the kind of things we remove or whatnot. It's basically, I just tell them like, you know, I want the stream like this, and they know what I'm thinking. I know what they're thinking. So that's like the best communication I can get. And really, it's going to come down to people when I need them, like people that have been here and I trust, essentially. So there aren't really guidelines. And honestly, not to sound rude or anything, but when people ask for mod, or like ask about how to get mod, that's gonna kind of hurt them becoming mod, essentially. You know, if they're like eager to become one, then they might just be like wanting that power to like have the special rank or something. So really, it's just gonna come down to who I trust and who I don't think is gonna like power trip over it or anything. It was so much better luck. Sorry, it's all good, Ryan. I've had days where I've gotten like, I think the most I've gotten a day is 3 or 4. Like SOS training back to back, I just cranked out the shinies. So, you know, you have days, you have like really good periods, you have like great days, and then you have some dry spells. It's what happens when you're dealing with something that's essentially random. Remember when French Fry left the fan base? Now I have Casey Bucket. I don't remember French Fry really like leaving. I just remember him. I just haven't seen him around in a while. I don't think he's like gone or anything. You'll be here until I get it. I appreciate that, Fora. We are hopefully going to get it pretty soon and be able to hunt some other things as well. Dreddy you, did I get the Trico? Also, hope I get the Charmander. So, thank you for hoping we get this Charmander, but yeah, we have not gotten the Trico yet either. What we've been doing is we've started alternating between the two just because it got a little monotonous doing that Trico for 25 streams straight. Like 2 months of just Trico is probably a little bit excessive, and some people were getting understandably bored. I've only done that like 3 times now. Yeah, alternating between Charmander and Trico, exactly. You don't want the power, you're just curious, it's all good. Like, that's basically, yeah, I kind of point that out, like I said, like, I didn't mean to be rude or anything, it's just, you know, if people can start asking about that, like, the best way to kind of prevent that from becoming a kind of spam of, like, can I have mod, is basically to be, like, asking about it is the exact opposite way of how to get it, you know? So I don't, like, mean to actually be like, rude or anything. How do I get a Leafgreen Japanese version? So I got it at a convention. Like, I was at a big anime convention, like a whole anime video game convention, and they have a dealer's room where all these people are set up selling stuff, you know, pop culture and anime and stuff related. And there was one booth that had like a bunch of imported games, you know, a bunch of like PS4 rhythm games, Idolmaster games, all these different Japanese games. And they had a whole Pokemon section. And they had a complete in-box Leafgreen from Japan for like 20 bucks. I was like, heck yeah, because I wanted to play it. I wanted to be able to, play through Kanto again. Because I can't find my Fire Red, so I was like, alright, I'll take it. I'll take a Japanese one, that'd be pretty cool. And that's how I got it. Like, it's a physical cartridge, it's not a ROM or anything. Grozek, sorry if I mispronounced that, good luck. Thank you, I appreciate it. Atul, is this my first video? It is not. It's actually, like, almost my 30th, I think. I've been streaming for about 2 months now. Constantly going for, constantly shiny hunting for Trico, and now I'm adding Charmander into the mix. Have I heard about the new leaks about Pokemon Go release Gen 3 and all that? I did see some of that, Vanillix. I didn't look too much into it, honestly. But yeah, so for people who've been around and remember, I said like I'd check out Pokemon Go again when Hoenn Pokemon were released, so if those leaks are true and like they're kind of coming around the corner, I may be checking out Pokemon Go again soon. I don't think there's anything I could do with that, but yeah, so I may be trying out Pokemon Go again, which would be pretty fun. Oh, what's up, man? Welcome back to the stream again. Korean, not my thing. I can't remember if you told me how to pronounce it or not. I probably forgot if you did. Why do I have the shiny charm on the side? Is it just for aesthetics? It is just for aesthetics. My girlfriend was awesome and designed a layout for me because I'm terrible with graphic design. And if you go and look at like my first 2 streams, they are legit just like the game capture window, my webcam, and the Pokemon I was hunting. That was it. It was all done with like text and a couple little images I ripped from the internet of Pokemon on a black background. Like, it was just the blank canvas for OBS. That's all I had. So my girlfriend was awesome and made this for me. She just added a couple of things, like the shiny charm, the grass down below, and like the sparkles above the previous capture. All just kind of cool little things, you know. Add a little bit of flair to it. All shiny related. It's in the coding of the app. yeah, I mean, it's people who care about the APKs and stuff, so it'll be interesting to see when they come out. And yo, what's up, Scaff? Welcome back to the stream. Scratch the question mark. All right, so you aren't hesitant on whether or not you're back. You are actually back. I see. You play Pokemon Go every day. You play Pokemon Go. Like, I want to be able to play it again. It was fun when I started playing. It's just there were so many issues with the game. You know, when it first came out, like those first couple weeks, or when I played it, basically from the time, the day it released, like the hour it released, I had it, and started walking around with friends like 10 at night, trying to find some Pokemon, which was pretty fun. And then we tried. We all kept playing, and I actually started playing with coworkers and stuff. For most of the summer, up until they removed the tracking. As soon as they removed the tracking, I stopped caring, to be completely honest. John Birdsell, welcome back to the stream. You got a shiny Charizard and shiny Eevee. That is awesome, man. I have all of the shiny evolutions, but I don't have anything that wasn't catchable in Gen 7. It's a song you don't like Pokemon Go, actually. Alright, fair enough then, man. Fair enough. Yeah, because like I said, I pretty much you could consider me as not liking Pokemon Go at the moment. I like the concept, but too buggy. Too buggy as it stands, or as it stood when I last played. You love Pokemon Leafgreen, but how do I record mine? So I'm not recording a DS, I don't know if that was a typo or not. I am recording from my game. I have a GameCube with a Game Boy Player attachment. So I have like the Game Boy Advance cartridge in there, and I'm using a capture card for the composite output, like that the yellow, white, and red RCA jacks to USB. And then I'm capturing that through my computer using OBS, and that's the streaming software as well. You evolved Eevee to Umbreon. Good choice. I agree with that choice. Umbreon is my favorite of the shiny evolutions. That blue just looks so great. You love I already read that. I read the top part of it again and did not connect it. Yeah, but you were the one asking about how I recorded. What's my favorite starter of all time? Chimchar for the win for you. For me, it is Rowlet. I know like Rowlet's the big popular one, the fan favorite of Gen 7, so it may seem kind of like going with the bandwagon, but it's not. Like, as soon as Rowlet stuff started coming out, I was like, or all the stuff for Sun and Moon started coming out, I'm like, Rowlet. Didn't even know what the final evolution looked like. This is why I didn't make any choice. Rowlet. Rowlet is my all-time favorite Pokemon. Your cousin has the Game Boy Player too. Nice. This actually isn't even mine. The whole GameCube setup I have here is actually Brad's. Yeah, I was asking around if like people had GameCubes they're willing to sell, and obviously none of my friends wanted to actually sell them. But Brad was like, yeah, I have one, and I was like, do you have the like Game Boy Player and the disc for it? He's like, yeah. So he's basically just letting me borrow this until, you know, at any given moment he'll just be like, no, I want it back now, and I have to return it and figure out some other way to stream. But yeah, so Brad was pretty awesome and was letting me borrow his. When you went to band camp during the summer of last year, you saw Pokemon Go and wanted to try it out. You played it the whole time at band camp, and then after you got back from camp, you quit playing. Yeah, like, honestly, when I got back to school, it would have been the perfect time to be playing it, because, you know, campuses and just in general pretty public places, like, you know, a university campus is pretty great because, you know, you have all these different buildings, each of them's a Pokestop, because, you know, they pulled all the Pokestops from Niantic's old game. Why am I blanking on the name of that one right now? But basically, like, all the markers from the old game got pulled over, and college campuses were the places where, like, a lot of those markers got put. So, yeah, what I'm trying to say. So, like, college campus would have been perfect to play, but I stopped playing before I came back, because, like, it was draining my battery too much, because, you know, constant GPS pinging. It was constantly, the servers were still not stable. They'd removed tracking, so there was no way to really, like, hunt down Pokemon, aside from just walking around aimlessly, you know? It was just, it was meh. You might donate. Well, I would appreciate it, Scaff, but you definitely do not have to. Like, the last thing I want you to do is spend money that you do not have, you know? Like, yeah, like, I do this for free. This isn't something that I, like, require people pay me for or anything. Honestly, I only even added it because some people were like, you should add, like, basically telling me that I needed to add one, so I figured I may as well, you know, hopefully it would help, like, the channel and stuff, but I would never ask anyone to do it if they aren't able to or do not want to. Can you only get Shiny Charmander in Japanese version? No, you can get it in any version of the game. Every game after Gen 1, I just hit the controller in the spot on the table if you heard a loud clunk. Any game after Gen 1, you can get Shinies, and Gen 1 you kinda can, if you really know what you're doing. Now, the only reason that we're playing in Japanese is because it's a physical cartridge that I have that happens to be in Japanese. The place I got it was only had Japanese versions of Pokemon. They didn't have any English ones. So that's the only reason we're playing it, not in English. Anyone else find a shiny in the Sun and Moon demo? I didn't find one in the demo. I'm thinking about Ingress. That is exactly what I'm thinking about. I was thinking of the in, but I couldn't figure out what, like, I wanted to say the next letter was a T, but obviously it was not. The band camp was a college campus, and every building was a Pokestop. Yeah, pretty much every single sign on my campus was a Pokestop. If you were sitting, pretty much anywhere you were sitting, you were within range of like 3 or 4 Pokestops. So it was the prime location for, you know, playing, but yeah, that just wasn't. I was having fun with the game at that point. And there was a gym there. Yeah, there are like 3 gyms on our campus. You can get a Shiny Charmander in any version. Yes, yes you can. You play Fire Red? Awesome. I used to play Fire Red. I just unfortunately can no longer find my cartridge for Fire Red. That was the first game I ever played, but what ended up happening is I lost it somewhere. Basically, I kind of fell out of Pokemon for several years, so within those years, a lot of my stuff kind of got shifted around and became a giant pile of mess. I don't think it was thrown out, but I think it's like buried in the back of a really messy closet. Yo, Gaming, thank you for the sub. So can I read Japanese? Kind of, very slowly. Basically what I've said is I'm not going to do a playthrough of this specifically because I want to read the Japanese because I can, but I'd read it so slowly that it would just be painful to record and put out. Like, it would take me so long to actually, like, vocally read anything. I also forgot we named our character Senpai, or we named our rival Senpai till just now. What was the Trico count a while ago? So the Trico count was up to like 7,200, I think. It's like 7,200. Also did not check if it was shiny, I don't think yet. We got up to 7,200 with Trico as of last stream. We're still hunting for it. We haven't like actually gotten to the point of being past it. We haven't actually caught it. I guess, I don't know why I worded it the way I did, but yeah, we haven't caught it yet. And we haven't given up on it. We're starting to alternate, and Atul, Jindal, thank you for the sub. But yeah, so we're not done with Trico by any means. We're still hunting for it. We just started alternating. And Retro Kraken, welcome to the stream, by the way. So that means I can read Japanese a little bit. Like I'm in the process of learning. I could make all of the sounds. I could not tell you what all of the sounds mean. During Pan Camp, you eat breakfast so quickly so you can walk around campus and play Go. That's dedication right there, man. MIV123, thank you for the sub. What's my favorite Pokemon game? That's a tough one, actually, because I could look at, like, Emerald, because that's one of my first games. Hoenn my favorite region. And it could be my favorite game just because of how, like, you know, nostalgic it is to me. But I have almost 900 hours in Pokemon Sun at this point, so it's kind of... It's really a fine line of, like... I have so much time in Pokemon Sun that that's almost a statement in how much I like the game in itself. But it's a really tough call to make. I'm probably gonna... I tend to go with Sun and Moon are my favorite games. but Gen 3 is my favorite gen. If that makes, like, sense. Are Red and Green the same story? Yes. In Gen 1, there wasn't actually a difference with the story, there was just a difference in the Pokemon you could find. And when you had breaks, you and a lot of people were playing Pokemon Go. Alright, yeah. Microphone, what are you asking about with the microphone scaff? I know I'm way behind on the chat right now, guys, but there were some things I was like trying to read. Do shinies learn moves faster? Yo Gaming, there is, aside from the color change, there's absolutely nothing special about shinies. It's literally, the color is the only thing that's different. Aside from that, they're a normal Pokemon. They have EVs and IVs just the same, with just the same probabilities of them being good or bad as every other standard Pokemon. It's a completely aesthetic difference. Am I going to do a final encounter thing with Bulbasaur Squirtle like I do with Trico hunts with Torchic and Mudkip? I guess I could do that. I'd never thought about that. Maybe we'll do Bulbasaur. I don't want to do Squirtle because I've done so many playthroughs with Squirtle of Kanto that I'd prefer to like actually have it mixed up. So I think we're only going to do Bulbasaur as our secondary. But do I know Pokemon Emerald has problems with shiny hunting in frames? I do, Captain Man. I reset my save entirely every 50 encounters when doing Trico. You sadly found 2 uncatchable shinies. Yeah, that stinks finding those. Thankfully, I haven't come across any, and the one game that we could do it in right now is Emerald, which actually is still like in that realm of being a good sign of being close to a shiny. Chocolate Moose, welcome to the stream. You found a shiny Snorlax. Nice, a tool. That's pretty awesome. You won't be here long, but good luck on the hunting. Thank you, Squad Gaming 151. I appreciate it. You got a clean, got to go. See you later, Retro Kraken. Thanks for tuning into the stream. I know I am a bit behind. I may end up skipping forward here in a second. While you were at band camp, your charger broke and your phone died because you were playing Pokemon Go so much. That's pretty crazy to notice. Yeah, but yeah, Pokemon Go killed phone batteries. You're playing Mario Kart while watching. Nice, Scaff. Red and green are different from blue. Yeah, yes, I think. Red and green, like OG... Red and green in Japan are different from blue. Blue is a redone one. In the States, though, they're actually based off of blue. Would I battle Ash or Red? I don't know. I feel like Ash just canonically has to, like, eventually lose. Red is actually, like, a really competent trainer. So if I wanted to challenge Red, throws shade at main character of anime. Red, green, blue, and yellow are basically the same story. Same story-wise, yes. Yellow has the Pikachu thing. That's really the only difference. But yeah, for the most part, aside from technical things, they're the exact same story. You never played 3rd Gen, and you're waiting for Trico Shiny to continue on Alpha Sapphire. RIP. I'm going to let it slide this time, because you haven't, like, done much. You haven't really said anything Lead Speaker, but even, like, censored swearing, I tend to be a bit cautious about. Like, if it happens a lot, then they'll eventually start getting removed. But, and especially when the sentence you're saying is inappropriate in itself, aside from that, that's more of what's been the factor. So just so you know, thank you for at least, like, you know, censoring it in a way. Why don't I shiny hunt Trico and Ruby and Sapphire? Because I only have a cartridge of Emerald. I'm trying to do this in all, like, legitimate cartridges, so I can trade them up to Gen 6 or Gen 7 eventually. And I lost my copy of Sapphire somewhere. So I only have Emerald, I replaced the battery in it and everything, so like, that's the one good Gen 3 cartridge I have right now. It'd be cool if Nintendo added a thing where throughout the game, it memorized your battle patterns, and at the end of the game, you had to fight a clone of yourself with the same Pokemon. That would be really complex. Like, the amount of, like, almost machine learning type stuff that would have to be done would basically tank the entire processing speed of the game during any kind of battle, I feel. It would be kind of awesome, though. Yellow has the closest to the anime. Yeah, it does. Like, that's kind of... yeah, I mean, that's I'm pretty sure intentional, but yeah. Yeah, that's Yellow's the only one that has any kind of major differences, and it's mainly with the fact that there's a Pikachu that follows you around. Am I gonna get Super Mario Odyssey when it comes out? Probably Vanillix. Maybe not immediately, but I'm basically, it's with how the Switch is right now, it's not hard to get most of the mainstream titles, especially any mainstream titles that I'm actually interested in. So yeah, I'm probably gonna be getting Mario Odyssey sometime over the holidays, if I don't get it as soon as it comes out. Because I am still like super hyped for Rocket League coming to the Switch. That's what I'm really excited about. What is my favorite Pokemon? My favorite Pokemon is Rowlet. Like, straight up, far and beyond all others, just because of how adorable I find it. I mean, come on. How could you not love that face? Like it's just impossible not to like that face. Come on. You're playing Pokemon Showdown? Nice and cool. I'm not a big competitive person, personally. But I find it, I'm like intrigued by watching people do it, but I'm just so terrible with like strategy for that kind of thing. Like, you know, I'm terrible at things like chess and stuff, so, you know, playing that, but with like a little, like, different, obviously, but it's like that kind of like 1v1 strategy type thing is not my thing. Your favorite Pokemon is Tentacool? That's pretty cool, Bensenzo. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, but that is pretty cool. Pun not intended, but yeah, Tentacool is always one of my favorites until I learned Surf, or more or less. It was really cool when I found Surf and started running into them. Then about 5 minutes later, I hated them as much as I hated Zubats in caves. You're trying to do is get all the legendaries with all types of Pokemon balls. You think that's cool or not? That's actually pretty cool, Edgar. You know, it's cool when I see people set their own kind of like challenges in the game. My challenge is to personally get like a living national dex, possibly living shiny national dex, with as many of them being in regular Pokeballs as possible. Like, there's obviously that situation where I will Master Ball something like a legendary that's shiny and I know is about to start struggling if I haven't caught it yet. That kind of thing. But for the most part, like if I can catch it in a Pokeball, I will catch it in a regular Pokeball. That's like my challenge to myself. What about Pokken? Maybe. Again, I'm not a big fighter game person. So like things like Smash Brothers I own, but like for my 3DS I own Smash Bros, but I don't play it much aside from like playing with friends occasionally, and I'm terrible when I play it. Like, the enjoyable part is laughing at myself. I've gotten too stalked by the stage before. You love Apom. I can kind of tell from that icon. You're about to leave the house, so you'll miss this stream, but you'll catch the next one. See you later, Scaff. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. It was good to see you. Shiny Phantup is your favorite Pokemon. Awesome, Ryan. Shiny Phantup does look pretty awesome, I think. You're going to be out in this stream till it ends. That is awesome, Vanillix. You got 2 phones. Nice. I have a... If you count my old phone, I have 2 as well. Because I have my new phone, which is like a Pixel. But then I have my old Note 3 sitting in the desk drawer. Because, like I said, I have it around because it still has pictures and stuff on it that I haven't needed in this, like, 6 months that I've had this phone, but I want to be careful and as long as I can, like, not get rid of it. Just in case I realize, oh crap, there was something on it that I need. Ah, I nicknamed. Oh, what is up, Proud Poet? Welcome to the stream, and see you in a bit, Ryan. Yeah, we are just hunting for this Charmander, trying to remember that it doesn't automatically come out anymore, and I have to go and check in summary. You only have 1 phone. You've had it since you're 1. Since you're 1, your old phone broke at band camp. Yeah, I mean, like, I only have 1 that I really use. The old one, I got my new phone when my Note was about 2.5 years old, and it was really just at the point that it was dying. Like, the camera was so scratched that I couldn't take a picture that was focused. It took minutes to boot up, and it would shut down constantly. So the phone was out of commission for like 10 to 20 minutes a day, which isn't too much in the span of, like, in the scheme of things, but it's still like a lot of time for a phone that like is kind of important to have on. And I found my old apartment last year had like, wasn't in a dead zone, but it was really close to being a dead zone for cell signal. And my old phone could not get anything. This new phone like has almost full bars there when I got it. But yeah, like, basically it was so like on the edge of having a signal that it would like constantly flip in and out of having like data and cell until it eventually just gave up to the point that it stopped looking for cell signal at all. So I had to reboot the phone manually every morning when I left the apartment in order to receive texts from the previous night as I walked to class. That was how bad it was. So like, it's not really a phone as much as it is a 32 gig storage device right now. Funny story, you were looking for an APOM with a certain ability, and on your third encounter it was shiny. That is pretty awesome, Jeremy. It's always cool running into shinies when you're not expecting them. Did I get that shiny Trico? I have not, Proud Poet. We are just alternating between Trico and Charmander now, because Trico is taking so long that people are kind of getting a little bored with it, so I understand. I understand, you know, because I was kind of getting to the point where I was like, come on, let's show up so I can hunt something else now. So it's just, you know, we're starting to mix things up a little bit. You have no technology. Yeah, that's always, you know, fair, a tool. Like I didn't have a smartphone until I had saved up enough like birthday and Christmas money to actually like buy one myself. Before that, my parents gave me enough of a phone that I could call them in an emergency. Red and green are different from blue. You have a Game Boy SP? That's awesome. I have one as well. I have one of the first gen ones, so it's not the backlit screen, it's still a frontlit screen. But red and green are different from blue. Like, story-wise, I don't think they are. Like, I think they're the same story-wise, it's just red and green were even more buggy than blue. I think that was the big issue. That's the big difference. You're ready for the weekend, your second week of school has gone by a little quicker, but you want it to be Friday already. Same vanilla. This is my first week, so I don't really have anything to compare it to. It's kind of... Monday and yesterday were the super easy days because, yeah, it's syllabus day. So all my Monday, Wednesday, Friday classes just talked about the syllabus on Monday, and my Tuesday, Thursday classes talked about the syllabus yesterday. One of my classes yesterday was literally 10 minutes long, and it was my last class of the day, so I got out an hour early. So it was weird being out of class at 11 and being done with the day, but it was pretty nice. You have a Game Boy Advance SP? Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I have one as well. That was my first Game Boy. Was my red Advanced SP. They are story-wise. They're not. On a technical level, they are. Blue had a lot of bug fixes, and that still left a lot of bugs, but it fixed a good number of them. You got your first phone when you were 10, and it was a government phone. Okay. My first phone was like a 99-cent flip phone that basically became free if you got it through like the cell carrier. It was given to me in like 6th grade basically as, yeah, the same, like the kind of thing where it's like my parents are like, if you go hang out with friends, you have this on you so we can call you, that type of thing. Like I didn't really have any texting on it. It had like just a normal numpad, so you'd like hit the letters a bunch of times if you wanted to text. But then, like, for a while I was getting, like, basically, when my parents upgraded their phones, I got one of theirs, and they just transferred their number to mine, or my number to it. Until eventually I was like, I want a smartphone, and my parents told me to save up the money for it, and so it took me a few months. It took basically Christmas to my birthday, but I got the money for it, and went out. It got a Droid Incredible as my first smartphone. That was a long time ago, and that was probably not the best decision in terms of which phone to get, because it's slowly died very quickly. You're on a shiny egg hunt? Good luck, John. I hope you get whatever you are hunting for pretty quickly. Yours was a track phone. Yeah, those... Mine wasn't like a track phone. It didn't have that, like, tracking stuff in it, but it was on the same level of actual technology in the phone. It was like those tiny little phones that had buttons and stuff. Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. It's weird hearing someone try to describe like a phone being old because it has buttons. Because that was what my first like 3 phones were flip phones with buttons. There was no like I already had a phone before smartphones were a thing. Like I remember the times where it was like, what phones have, you know, can watch like videos on them now. What? Family Guy or Simpsons? I haven't watched either in so long. But if you told me I could only ever watch one of them, like ever again, probably The Simpsons, honestly. Like, there are a lot. I feel like I enjoy a bit of Family Guy more, but if I was to sit down and watch all of it straight, I feel like I would be less tired of The Simpsons at the end of it. Also, I've watched all of Family Guy, like at least up until the point that I stopped watching. Which was like 2 years ago. I basically just stopped watching TV. Like I suddenly lost interest and never gained it back. But, man, TLW, thank you for the sub. But yeah, so like, I feel like if I just only could watch one ever again, The Simpsons comedy, while not necessarily as, it's like more consistent and not as like exhausting at the end of it, I guess. So probably Simpsons, if I had to choose. Also, it's by Matt Groening, so it's kind of reminds me of Futurama a bit. Legacy Jellybean, welcome to the stream. Before the iPhone, those were dark times. That was called elementary school for me, so I didn't have a phone anyways. Legacy Jellybean, thank you for the sub. Brazil is back, is Shiny Charmander. Joao, welcome back to the stream. Hopefully we can get the Shiny Charmander this stream. That would be pretty awesome if after we've gone, like, I think 26 streams now for Trico without any luck, if we could go and get Charmander on the second stream, that would be top. That would be awesome. Good luck, I got this. Thank you, KJ Styles. I appreciate it. Hopefully we can get lucky tonight. Simply Wavy, thank you for the sub. It's probably coincidence, but you just got a Fire Red with the ID starting in 0, and you've got 2 shinies on the game. Nothing in Leaf Green. Yeah, I think that is complete coincidence, because it really wasn't, aside from Gen 3 with Dead Battery, it really doesn't affect, like, when, it affects when you get the shiny frames, but because the RNG isn't broken in games outside of Emerald or Dead Battery, Ruby Sapphire, it really just won't affect anything in the end. It all comes down to timing. Dabbler GT, what happened to Trico? Basically, Trico hasn't shown up yet. We're still hunting for it. We got just under 7,000 as of, I think it was Sunday. And so I decided, or was it Sunday? I think it was Saturday, and I think I took Sunday off. Whatever it was. We got to just under 7,000, and then the next day I put up a straw poll on the Discord server that I have linked in the description for anyone that is interested in joining. And I posted in like an announcement saying like, I've seen people, you know, are getting a little bit tired of Trico, which I did see, and I kind of agree with. It had been 25 straight streams of Trico, and I asked like, what should we do? Should we just keep streaming Trico and just keep going until we get it? But the majority of people seem to want to do an alternating between Charmander and Trico thing. So that's what we're doing now. Once we catch one of them, you will know because it'll appear in that previous capture box right above my head. You just got in from playing Pokemon Go, waiting for Mewtwo to drop in the US. Nice, nice. We've had some talks about Pokemon Go tonight. Personally, I haven't played it in over a year. Yeah, I was trying to figure out if it had been a year or 2 years, but the game's only been out like a little over a year now. I started playing when it first came out, but I stopped like right at the end of the summer. Like not this summer, but the summer that it came out, because once they removed tracking, basically the game was so broken, and they were managing to break it more instead of fix it, that I was just like, I'm gonna take a break, and I've held to this, and it seems like soon I may pick it up again, just because I held to it that I'm waiting for Hoenn Pokemon to be added, and once any Hoenn Pokemon drop, I'm going to download the app again and give it another shot. But if it's still broken after that, then I'm just gonna or it's still broken when I download it and it's still a little bit disappointing, I'm just gonna give up on it. But if they've fixed enough stuff for me to actually be interested again, then I'll start playing. You've only gotten one shiny by random Dex nav encounter. Nice. I have gotten quite a few, but almost all of them have been like intentionally hunting for it. Through things like SOS method or Masuda method. I have run into a couple randoms, but those are still with a shiny charm, just because I ran into them after I completed the Pokedex. So like I have a random encounter Pikipek and a random encounter Golduck and a random encounter Kangaskhan. The Kangaskhan was called in by a Cubone, but it was called in before I was chaining. Like I wasn't chaining yet, and I wasn't intending to chain. And the Pikipek and Golduck just popped up while I was like leveling Pokemon. But yeah, the random encounter shinies are always the best, just because like there's an extra added excitement to it of like checking your screen, not expecting a shiny at all. Like there's a difference between, you know, if I didn't expect it to pop up this time, and it pops up, then it's like, hey, we're shiny hunting and we got it. But it's like when it's like I'm leveling up a Pokemon to evolve it, and you get a shiny, that's different. And it's more exciting because it's completely unexpected. You don't see the stream of Shiny Trico. Did I get him? I have not gotten him yet, Joao. Basically, like I said, we are alternating between Trico and Charmander until we catch one of them. Only one console? Yeah, Jose. We only have one. Not as fancy as anyone who's got dual capture cards or anything. Basically, for this one, the only reason is I only have one GameCube. It would be kind of cool to get a second one, but I'd have to actually... This isn't even my GameCube, it's a friend's. It's actually one of the mods of the chats, and he's just letting me borrow it. But I would have to like buy a whole new GameCube and a Game Boy player, and at that point, it'd be taking away the money from getting a 3DS capture card that I really want to get, just because I want to be able to stream Sun and Moon as well as like Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon when those come out. But yeah, it'd be cool to do dual capture, but I kind of want to make sure that I can focus at least enough on one game as well as chat. So I'm still very paranoid that I'm going to accidentally reset over a shiny just because I'm not even paying attention to it. What was my first shiny? Yours was a Rattata, which you found randomly. My first shiny was a Ditto that I found in Pokemon Sun. I found it through SOS method, like I was intending to get it. Basically, I wanted a shiny Rowlet, and I didn't look into how to actually breed for shinies. So I kind of figured in my head, like, what if I just get a shiny Ditto and use that as a parent? Maybe the offspring will be more likely to be shiny. Which, disclaimer, is not the case at all. Hasn't been the case since Gen 2. And then I did all the research on the Masuda method. But yeah, shiny Ditto was my first shiny. Second was an Alolan Rattata. Shiny hunting will be easy for Gen 2 when it releases on Virtual Console. Is there like any way to increase... I know there's not a way to like increase your odds, but I imagine there's a way to kind of manip with it, right? I would assume so. Welcome back, Kitty Gamer. Welcome to the stream. And just because I see one of the mods did time someone out, please like try to avoid spamming in the chat. Just otherwise you will end up getting timed out. As well as keep the chat PG. That's just a personal rule that I kind of have because it's a Pokemon stream. So I hope it's understandable. Yeah, Pokemon's like a game for all ages. So I like being able for anyone who's interested in Pokemon to be able to watch. It's going to be the next one. You can feel it. Alright, KJ Styles, we will see. It is happening as soon as our rival collects their Squirtle. Alright. Moment of truth. It's unfortunately not shiny, guys. We're going to keep going, man. Why is the game in Japanese? So, Anfi, the reason the game is in Japanese is because it's a Japanese cartridge. Basically, the cartridges don't have language settings until at least Gen 6, I don't think. Or at least not in Gen 3 at the very least. Yeah, so this cartridge I purchased from a dealer at a convention, and they only had Japanese games, but I wanted a Kanto remake because I lost my copy of Fire Red, and they had this one fairly cheap, complete in box, so I was like, okay, I'll pick it up. It was worth it in my opinion. You know, we're getting some streaming out of it. And I am actively learning Japanese. Like, I'm taking classes in college. I'm in my 3rd semester of taking Japanese. So having something to kind of practice, because once we get the shiny, I'm going to be playing through the game and actually kind of like reading through it myself. So that's part of the reason, but most of the reason is just because the game is a Japanese cartridge and I bought it Japanese. Because I want to do this on legit cartridges too. I don't want to do ROMs or anything. Because if I do it on a legit cartridge, it means I can move this shiny up to the newer games. If you have a shiny parent, it increases the chances because how shinies appeared in the game. Yeah, that's what you're talking about. Yeah, I forgot, because I even mentioned it like 2 minutes ago, but I still kind of forgot and it slipped my mind that, yeah, you can increase the odds of a shiny through breeding because of IVs, because it was the DVs that controlled it. I don't have anything more interesting to do. I find this pretty interesting, says. Personally, I really like shiny hunting. I've been doing it for over 8 months now. I've only been doing it on stream for 2 months. But yeah, like, personally, I'm like a collector, and I'm a completionist, so being able to hunt for shinies and stuff and find like super rare things to add to my collection is really cool. And the satisfaction of finding the shiny is such a big payoff to me personally. And really what makes this interesting is talking to all of you guys, to be honest. Like, I probably would have given up, especially with Trico at this point, if I wasn't doing this on a stream. Like, the chat is what the chat and the whole stream is what makes this really interesting. You're hunting for a shiny Charmander with me in Fire Red. Well, Simply Wavy, good luck to you. I hope you get it, man. Your first egg encounter was a Baneri. Nice. You encountered a shiny Pancham Pokegamer. That is awesome. Hopefully you are able to catch it. I have to be careful that I hit no on nickname and not no on if I want to collect the Pokemon or not. Yeah, I don't know why. I guess it slipped my mind how much you have to do. I felt like shiny or soft resetting in Fire Red was going to be so much easier or so much quicker than it was in Emerald. But then I realized, oh wait, as soon as I started the first one, I was like, oh wait, you have to go through the nickname, your rival has to pick their Pokemon, and then, oh wait, I don't immediately see it, I have to go into the summary. Which really isn't too... No, excuse me, it's not too bad, it's just longer than an Emerald soft resetting. Marius, welcome to the stream. Fire drill. Back when he's alright, see you in a bit, Indy. You encountered a shiny Ponyta, and the story is interesting. Cynthia had just told you where a rare Pokemon was on the path you were going through, and didn't think she meant that. She probably didn't, but, you know, that's a pretty cool thing. It's pretty cool timing. When they do release, you'll be shiny hunting like crazy in those games. I'm considering getting it for Virtual Console. I'm not sure, though. I think if I did that, I would do it if I had a 3DS cap card. Like, I think I'd only really get that. I'd only get them if I was able to stream with them, personally. Alex Holiday, thank you for the sub. Do I play on the original... I do it on the original Game Boy? It's not an original Game Boy. This is a Game Boy... It would be a Game Boy Advance, but this is actually a Game Boy Player, which is the GameCube adapter, so that's why I'm able to get capture footage from it, is because this has video... The Game Boy, or the GameCube, has video out on it. What's the probability of getting a shiny? 1 out of 8,192. Yeah, and like Theo said, it's around 1 in 8,000, and that is specifically in the earlier gens. That is Gen 1 through 5, the odds, without doing any kind of chaining method, which Gen 3 doesn't even have any form of chaining, is 1 in 8,192. In Gen 6 and Gen 7, the base odds are 1 in 4,096. Well, welcome back, Mau Mau. It'll be so fun to shiny hunt in Gen 2. It really would be. I'd love to shiny hunt in as many of the gens as I can. Like, even Gen 1, but Gen 1s would be a little bit... That one wouldn't be one that I actually go for. That'd actually probably be like the last one I do anything in. Just because of how incredibly, like, difficult it is to determine if a Pokemon's shiny or not. You've been a little obsessed with shiny fur lately because it looks like strawberry and banana ice cream. Fair enough. You love furry and shiny fur. It is cute. Fur with choice band and double edge. Is that good? I don't know. Like I said, I'm terrible with competitive stuff, so I just take everyone in chat's word for it if a Pokemon's like decent competitively. Alright. Let's see if 231 is shiny. A shiny Pokemon will still be shiny. If it evolves, yes, Amphi, it will always be shiny. If you trade it, if you evolve it, whatever happens to it, it is always shiny. The same way that a Pokemon is always male or female. It's part of the personality of the Pokemon. The same number that determines all the other stats, like all the other base stats when you encounter it. I guess not stats, but the number that determines like everything about the Pokemon in terms of like gender, nature, ability, all of that. It's the same number that determines if it's shiny or not. And as soon as a Pokemon's created and it's shiny, it will always be shiny. You really have to be lucky in... Oh, Derpy Rids, thank you for the sub. You really have to be lucky in Gen 1. You have to catch a Pokemon, trade it up with Poké Transporter, and then bank to see if it's shiny. I mean, there are ways to determine that they're shiny before you trade it up, but you just have to make sure that, like, when you do that, your eyes didn't trick you and you were actually right. The harder part is, like, if you're doing it with wild Pokemon or anything, is getting it to a high enough level that the DVs are separated enough, or, like, the DVs can be high enough that you can differentiate between a shiny and not a shiny, because at lower levels, a lot of the IDs look the exact same. Or like a lot of the DV combinations look the exact same, just because, you know, if you have 31 options and the DV's at 5, then like there are 6 DV, or the like stat is at 5. There are 6 DVs for each, you know, increment of that stat. In terms of like trying to spread it out over that, which really that didn't work. That's not actually accurate at all. But like basically, it's so crunched that it's impossible. It's really hard to tell for a long time with a lot of them. Gen 2, Gen 2 had shiny Gen 2 stars, not Megas. Yeah, it didn't have Megas, and what's wrong with Gen 2? Nothing's wrong with Gen 2. Derpy Rids, welcome to the stream. Except for the female thing with Asmar. Yeah, technically. Yeah, I guess that is true, but, minor exceptions to the rule. But yeah, basically, that was still back on the question of if a shiny will always be shiny. Yes, so like this will evolve all the way up to a shiny Charizard. That'd be a little scary if it didn't always do so. You're like 40 hours. Yeah, it takes a lot of hours, especially for random encounters. I have almost 900 hours on my cartridge of Sun, which averages out to about 10 per shiny. Or a little bit less than 10 per shiny, because I'm not quite at 900, and I have a bit more than 90 on there. And that's even with intentionally hunting for them, with lower odds, or like with better odds, and chaining methods. It's just, shinies are really, really rare to get. Did I get shiny Trico? I have not, Jordan. We are still hunting for that as well. Trico is just taking so long that we decided as like a community to start alternating between Charmander and Trico, just to kind of mix things up and make it a little bit more interesting, a little less boring. Thank you, Marius. I hope I get the shiny as well. Your first shiny was a Kakuna. You got it while playing a random lock. Nice. I can't make out the name with the resolution on my screen. After you broke your first phone, your parents, for Christmas, got you a 1M9. Nice. But it broke because it shut down and wouldn't come back on, so you got the Droid Turbo 2. Nice, that's actually a pretty good phone. Greetings from Mexico. Well, welcome from the US. And Pokénerd, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Creeper Gamer, did you miss anything? No, you haven't missed anything yet. We have not seen a shiny lizard. Unfortunately, but also kind of fortunately, because we had seen one and we were still going. That have meant some bad things happened. Sun DXD, your first shiny was a Heracross. Nice, man. Nice. Oh, welcome back, Blaze Games. You're playing a live stream on your TV. Nice. You gotta get the full cinematic experience. Your HTC probably would have overheated or needed charging. Oh yeah, if it was an M9, it would have definitely started overheating during Pokemon Go. Your first shiny is a Pikipek with Lonely Nature. Nice, Mau. Yeah, I think you mentioned that before. Yeah, Pikipek was a surprisingly difficult shiny hunt for me because I messed it up twice without realizing what had actually happened. But I used to shiny hunt with a shiny hunting machine Smeargle, so it had like Recycle and Recover and then False Swipe and a couple other moves and like its attack move. And I was wondering why I kept losing the Lepberry, why it stopped working. Because I kept missing the fact that I was just spamming A, so I didn't notice that Pikipek had the ability to pick up and was taking the Lepberry away from me. So eventually I just switched over to a Decidueye and was feeding it Lepberries all the time and caught it. Do I have to check Charmander in the bag? Isn't it good enough looking at the image of him? So Chaz, it doesn't actually, like, this image, as well as the image when I pick it up, does not show if it's shiny or not. The only time that ever happened was in Gen 4 with Heart Gold Soul Silver. And that's why Heart Gold Soul Silver hunts are for all 3 starters at the same time, generally. But for every other game, you have to go in and look at it in this menu. It'll be different. It'll look different there as well as have the star, but you can't see it during the selection screen, unfortunately. Otherwise, I could hunt for all 3 at once. Cole Costello, your first shiny was a Magikarp. Nice. I actually really like how Magikarp looks shiny. Gyarados is pretty cool as well. It's the only thing is, Gyarados doesn't feel quite as special because of the whole Lake of Rage thing, which isn't really a problem. It's cool that Game Freak had a way of introducing shinies to everyone, but it kind of makes your Gyarados you get a little bit less special. But Magikarp though, the gold carp looks really cool. Just asking, but how do I hunt for Trico with Emerald's broken RNG? The way you counteract Emerald's RNG is by resetting the save, completely resetting the save, going through, renaming yourself, and everything. Kyugar Monster, thank you for the sub, or Kyugare Monster, thank you for the sub. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it both times, or just either time. But yeah, so the way you counteract Emerald's busted RNG is by changing your trainer ID, which means resetting the save entirely. And what eventually happens is once you can get a shiny by soft resetting, it makes it really easy to get Pokemon by soft resetting, because you know that you can get a shiny right at the beginning of your save. So that's why it's actually pretty good to hunt in Emerald, in my opinion. It's just the first hunt with the starters and legendaries, because their animation lasts a bit too long to actually check the soft resetting, or to check with the starters for soft resetting, is that, if I'm going to do a shiny badge quest, and it'll make that a lot easier than just running around in the grass forever. Every time I take the Charmander's ball, you cannot think that some of the others may be shiny. They could be. That's the thing, is we can't tell, unfortunately. That's why Heart Gold Soul Silver are so nice, because you can see all 3. So, if this time Squirtle or Bulbasaur was shiny, I'd be able to tell, and this would be a successful hunt. It would have been the end of a hunt, but unfortunately that's not the case. So you just have to hope that that the one that pops up is yours, and otherwise you just don't know. You just blissfully ignorant of it and just assume that they were always not shiny as well. Kyogare, yeah, you, oh, it's is it Kyogre or is it Kyogare? I'm not sure. Let me know. I'm sorry if I, like, mispronounced it when I said it. Katie Phillips, thank you. I appreciate it. I could use all the luck I can get right now. You were gonna shiny hunt? What should you hunt for? What game are you hunting in? Is the big question, Cole. Because I could say something like, go read for a Rowlet, but you could be playing in Gen 2, which would not work. Shiny Primal Kyogre is lit. If only we could actually get, like, the shinies in ORAS and didn't have to trade them up from Gen 3. I said it the second time, so it is Q, you got it? Alright. Awesome. Yeah, I just want to make sure, because there are some names where I'll sit there and try to figure out how to pronounce it while it's, like, in the notification, but then I end up messing up and, like, not being able to say it all because it scrolls by while I'm staring at it. So I try to say something and hope it's kind of right. Will I buy the Super Nintendo Mini? Will I do Let's Plays maybe? So Concha, I'm not sure if I'd get it just because they're already ridiculously... They're already scalped. They're pre-orders, and scalpers have already started putting the pre-order sales up on eBay, which is just ridiculous. And it'd literally be so I can play Super Mario World. That's really the only game... Because I'm a little bit too young to have had a Super Nintendo. My first game console at my house was an Xbox, so I'm in like the era of, you know, GameCube and Wii and upwards. But like I played on my neighbor's N64 all the time, but SNES is just a little bit too early for me still. So I don't think I'd get one just because it's a lot of money for something that I don't really have the nostalgia for. You are playing Sun. Alright, well, if you're trying to SOS chain for something, and if you haven't done it before, I'm trying to think of one that's not hard to go for, if you haven't done it before. Young Goose is pretty easy. Picky Peck, assuming you have a bunch of Leopard Berries, Picky Peck's not bad. A lot of them are cool to do, but you need like a Smeargle for Aerial Ace just because they know Sand Attack, which destroys your ability to chain, really. What's my favorite shiny and what's my favorite legendary? My favorite shiny is Milotic, and my favorite legendary is Rayquaza. You actually had a Nintendo 64. Nice, that's pretty cool. Yeah, my friend had one because she was the youngest of 4, so her older siblings all... Like, they got one because their older siblings were old enough to really be playing it, but so my first memories of video games are like on a PlayStation 1 and an N64. What's up, man? Hope the hunt is going well. What is up, Yoshi Bros? Yeah, the hunt is going pretty well. Haven't seen the shiny yet, unfortunately, but, you know, we're a lot earlier on in this hunt than we are with Trico, so the hopes are still fairly high for an early shiny. You have done it before? Alright, so... if you're SOS chaining, what's cool? I'd honestly, because like my favorite shiny is Milotic, you can SOS chain Feebas if you go to Brooklet Hill, which would be pretty awesome to eventually evolve into that Milotic. This is why I hate shiny hunting for starters in the old games. You have no patience when it comes to that. I used to be that way. I was terrible about it. I'd always be like, well, I want a shiny, so I'd soft reset like 8 times and go, this is taking way too long, I'm done. But as soon as I started shiny hunting through like SOS method and stuff, you know, not full odds, but a bit easier to do and a bit more controlled. And I've had a lot of fun with it. You know, I'm up to like 90 something shinies. So I decided, you know, let's do some full odds hunts, and decided to start streaming it. If I hadn't done all those previous hunts, if I hadn't put in all the time and like gotten really hooked on shiny hunting, then this would be a different story. I would have probably given up on Trico a long time ago. But I know that the payoff's gonna be so great when I get it. So for me personally, I'm okay with the unfortunate like amount of time I have to sink into this, but that's just because I put so much into it, and I understand when a lot of people just do not have the patience for it. You think you have Soul Silver for Game Boy, you don't play it much. Oh, I mean, it would just be, like, you just have, like, the original Gen 2 Silver, because Soul Silver is specifically the DS game. Your ultimate favorite Pokemon game is Pokemon Glaze. It's the biggest story mode Pokemon games out there. Is that a ROM hack? I'd assume that's a ROM hack. I've never heard of it. So, yeah, I guess it's a ROM hack. What's it a ROM hack based off of? Good grief, this hunt is tough. Mustafa, yeah, it is. This hunt has not been, you know, as bad to us yet as Trico has been. We're still going for Trico as well, and that's up to 7,000. So 250 is not bad at all. Am I gonna do collabs? I'm not sure. I don't know. Right now I'm just doing these streams and they're kind of single things. It'll really depend on what I start doing when I actually get around to doing some pre-recorded stuff. We'll see what happens. I'm not gonna confirm or deny anything. I'm not gonna set anything in stone until we get closer to that point. Do I have a Twitter? I don't have one for the stream, but if you're asking to like figure out like stream times and whatnot, or you just want to contact me, there's a link to a Discord server in the description below if you want to click it and join. I'm going to go ahead and post that link in the chat for anyone who is interested. But well, thank you for stopping by, and thank you for the sub, by the way, as well. But yeah, so for anyone who is interested, that is a link to a Discord server I have set up for these streams if anyone wants to join it and hang out and talk. Mount Dupiter, good luck. You did this hunt for a Bulbasaur once. Well, thank you, man. Yeah, I'm hoping we get it soon. I'm hoping that this hunt's nicer to us than my Trico hunt has been. That's up to over 7,000. I think we stopped at 7,200 last time on that one, and I'm hoping that we can. I'm hoping that this one goes a little bit more nicely. We get it fairly quickly, so we can move on to some more like legendary hunts, which would be pretty fun. Yeah, it is a ROM hack. I figured. You tried SOS training for Feebas, but you didn't have the patience to do it. Well, no, I would suggest going back and doing it. Feebas, if I recall, isn't bad about SOS or about calling in for help. Like the patient, my issue with patience is more or less trying to get a Feebas to pop up in the first place. That's my problem with a lot of them. Is like I'm fine with the shiny hunting, you know, the 1 in thousands of odds. I'm like, okay, that's fine, I'll do that, that's no big deal. You know, we've lowered it to 1 in 500, that's fantastic, you know, stuff like that. But I cannot stand, like, going up to a fishing spot and being like, there's like a 1 in 20 chance of getting it. I'm like, that's ridiculous, I should be able to get it more quickly than that. I have almost zero patience for finding a specific Pokemon to chain. But it's funny, because I do that, but then if, like, I spend more than 10 minutes trying to start a chain, it's like, this is taking ridiculously long. But then I chained for like 24 hours of in-game time, and I'm like, that was pretty quick. Not to scare me, but to go over 15,000. Oh, I'm perfectly aware that it could take me that long. I'm obviously hoping it doesn't, but yeah, I'm aware that these hunts can take a very, very long time. Try Squirtle once. I will try Bulbasaur at the end of the stream one time. I've decided I'm probably not going to do Squirtle at all, just because every playthrough of Kanto I've done has been with Squirtle. So I'd rather do a Bulbasaur, and just, on the off chance that's the one that it pops up on, it'd be like, oh hey, another, like I want it to be a different kind of playthrough. So if it ended up being Squirtle, which granted, you know, doing it one time, the odds are not really likely that it'll be it, but it could. And I obviously would end up doing the playthrough with it, just because I'm not going to reset over the shiny for that. Okay, so, well, this one's female. Maybe that'll help. Everyone telling me needs to play Gen 2 and the remake Heart Gold Soul Silver is a huge post game, and it's awesome. Yeah, no, I definitely want to play it. Like, you do not have to convince me. I want to play Johto. It's just a matter of actually getting my hands on a copy of Johto. And like I said, if I did it through Virtual Console, I'd want to do it after I have a 3DS cap card, just so I can stream it. Maybe I could double Shiny Hunt. Maybe Owen. That would require me, again, getting a second capture card. And just, like, I want to get through one hunt, at least, just because, you know, if I don't get through one, then I'm nervous that I'll, you know, I'm basically already spreading my attention span between the encounters and chat, and I'm already worried about it. Like, I'm already worried that I'm going to miss something. The only Pokemon games you have right now is Soul Silver and Black version 2. I mean, those aren't bad games, at least from what I've heard. Granted, like, Black and White 2 are, like, extremely polarizing among people. You were playing Alpha Sapphire and ran into a Linoon, and you thought it was normal once you noticed that it was normal. And once you noticed that it was normal, when you hit run. Like, do you mean that once it was shiny and you hit run? Piku, why Japanese version? Just because I have a Japanese cartridge. I don't have an English cartridge. If I had an English cartridge, we'd be playing in English for sure. But I was at a convention and they were selling Pokemon games, and the only one they had for the remakes was the Japanese Leafgreen that I have right now. So that's why. Can you join me on Discord? I mean, you're in the Discord, right? Like, I've seen you there. Say hi for you, please. Well, sexy mustache. Hello, welcome to the stream. Alright, see you in a bit, Mau. But a copy of Heart Gold Soul Silver is really expensive these days. Yeah, no, the same convention where I got, like, a complete in-box Japanese Leafgreen in good condition. I mean, the box wasn't damaged or anything. It was opened, it wasn't, like, sealed. But it wasn't beat up. It was, like, 20 bucks. But the same convention is, like, Soul Silver cartridge, $80. I'm like, no. Like, it was, like, in box, but it was a beat up box. It had the Poké Walker, so it was cartridge and Poké Walker for, like, 80 bucks. I was like, That's just how expensive they are, because they're the most in-demand games. I was behind a girl in line, I was trying to buy Platinum. She got up to the front, picked up the cartridge of Platinum, and asked them, like, I was like, oh no, because it was the only one they had. And they're like, excuse me, and like, asked, like, is this the one that they can, like, walk behind you in? They're like, no, that's a Heart Gold. So she put down the Platinum, was being sold for like 35 bucks, and picked up the $80 Soul Silver and bought it, specifically because it was the one that had the Pokemon that followed you in it. Like, that's just how in demand they are. You can charge whatever you want for it, and someone will buy it. You're about 3,000 self-resets on Pokemon Sapphire for Shiny Torchic. Well, Owen, good luck. I hope you get it soon. Hopefully it doesn't take you as long as I have with Trico. You two, your first games were Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and you were 7 years old when those games came out. I think I was about 12 or 13 when those ones came out, I think. I don't know, what year exactly did they come out? I forget. Oh, and voice chat. Probably not, PokeNerd. I don't know. I feel like, Trampman, thank you for the sub. But I feel like, most of the people I'd have in voice chat would be people who, are actually involved in the same stream as me. Like, it would be if I'm doing a multiplayer game or something, is when that would come into play. So maybe, like, if I get to the point where I can do, like, online battles and stuff, it's a possibility, but while I'm just doing the shiny hunting, I feel like what ended up happening is our conversation, or, like, whatever conversation we had with people in Discord would overtake the chat, and it would kind of... It would make the voice chat more priority than the, like, chat on stream, which I don't really want. Like, I kind of want everyone to have the same, like, equal voice, basically, if you understand. You were 10 when you got Heart Gold. Nice. I think I was, like, 12 when I picked up, Pearl, but I don't remember how far through the, like, how far into the gen I picked up Pearl was. And Trapman, welcome to the stream. I just noticed your message. You're over 9,000. You're at 9,320 for Trico. Man, I hope you get it soon. You're past odds, so it's due any time now. What initial Pokemon do I prefer? So starter-wise, my favorite starter. If you mean starters, like throughout all the gens, it would be Rowlet from Gen 7. But if you mean, like, the original 151, it may be Zapdos. Heart Gold Soul Silver introduced the Pokewalker, which used to take with me everywhere. The Pokewalker was a pretty cool thing. Like, if I was to get a copy of Heart Gold Soul Silver, I would definitely end up paying the more expensive price to have one come with a Pokewalker. But yeah, I have to get my hands on one, because if those are anywhere, they just sell immediately because they're so in demand. Because I do want them. At some point, I would like to have every Pokemon game. It's just, those ones specifically are ones that, even though they're so old, which, I mean, not very old, but still pretty old now, in terms of, like, games and whatnot, it's like, they're still worth a lot. Like, people still really want them and really like them. Where am I from? I don't get too specific about it, but I am on the East Coast of the U.S. That is about as specific as I will get on the stream. Morello Jr., welcome to the stream. What was my first Pokemon game? It was Fire Red. My first Pokemon game ever was, I got a copy of Fire Red that I saved my money for and bought it for my Game Boy because all my friends were playing Pokemon and I wanted in on it. Because I had cards, but I wanted an actual Pokemon game. So I saved up money, got Fire Red, and then a few months later, when Christmas rolled around, either a set of like an aunt and uncle or two sets of grandparents got me Sapphire, and then like a week later, because I did Christmas one part of my family like a week before the other. So one part of my family got me Sapphire, and then a week later I got Emerald. So I got Sapphire and Emerald basically at the same time. And I've unfortunately lost my Sapphire and Fire Red cartridges. If I had them, that would be awesome, because if I had those, I replace the battery in Sapphire. I get Fire Red. Fire Red doesn't have a battery. And find more ways to capture stuff. We could have like some serious capture going on, but right now I only have Emerald and Leafgreen. So we're going to be alternating hunts in those. Can you tell me a secret? I guess. You got your first egg. Wish you luck. Well, good luck, Mau Mau. Hopefully you can get a shiny with it. Happy birthday? Happy birthday to who? Someone's birthday in the chat? Oh. My girlfriend may be a little jealous of that mustache. But it's okay. Forbidden love is always the best. Is always the most exciting. Well, what was the first Pokemon I caught? I don't remember exactly, but it was probably either a Rattata or a Pidgey. Like, the first Pokemon game I played was, it was so long ago. It was over 10 years ago at this point, so it's really hard to remember what the first Pokemon was. But yeah, welcome back, Ryan. Oh, she's gonna show up on stream now. My girlfriend, she's the one that designed this layout, so she knows I streams, and she used to watch them a bit, but understandably, like a lot of people who aren't big shiny hunters, it gets a little boring. But I imagine she's gonna show up in the chat any minute now. What was the first starter I got? Gen 1, what was my pick? So my first Gen 1 starter, which I did get in Gen 3 because Fire Red, was Squirtle. It's actually the only Pokemon, or the only starter I've chosen in Kanto and done a full playthrough with. So that's why, at the end of the stream, I'll do, one encounter of the other Pokemon, and it's going to be Bulbasaur. I'm not going to do a Squirtle, just because I've done so many playthroughs with Squirtle. I don't even want to, I guess, risk getting a shiny Squirtle and having to do another playthrough with it. I'm busted. Yeah, I mean, Indy over here being a little a little narc. You had to say it. And there's some things you just gotta let out. Kodo Black, welcome to the stream. Just came back from school. You can't fully see the streams anymore, and it sucks. I apologize, Hyptic. I know that with the way I move the stream schedule, it really is unfortunate that a lot of the people I know it's going to affect a lot more of the people like in the U.S. and mainly like West Coast U.S. that I moved my stream so early, but on one hand, it really helps me because now I have a little bit more time at the end of the day if I have anything I have to do. As well as, I wanted to stream earlier from the start, but work got in the way because I worked a 9 to 5. And then, this also helps a lot of the people who watch from Europe, because before when they watch, people like Nuno, Filippo, Mau, they're all watching, and it's 2:30 to 4:30 in the morning for them when I'm in the middle of the stream. So now it's more like, it's still pretty late, but it's like midnight. It's not like super late now for them. I found Trico. I actually have it, Elias. We're just taking a break from it. Basically, and not really even taking a break. We're alternating every other stream. And once we actually legitimately catch one of them, it'll appear in that box right there. Like that previous capture circle. But for now, basically, just hunting for Trico day in, day out was going to get really monotonous, especially with streaming daily now, or 5 days a week now as opposed to 3 days. So we're mixing it up a bit. We're alternating now. How many languages do I speak? Personally, I speak 1, and I'm learning Japanese as a second. You're on school holiday, you got 6 weeks until school. Nice, that's actually pretty awesome. I actually just got back to school from my summer vacation. But for me, summer vacation just means working instead of going to school, so my school day ends at like 2 o'clock now, as opposed to my work day ending at 5 o'clock. So I have a bit more time in the afternoons now, and that's why I stream earlier. You speak English, Spanish, Danish, and you're learning Japanese from anime. I will say learning Japanese from anime is not the best way. I don't know if you're being serious. You might just be joking. It's a good way to kind of reinforce some things and learn basic words, but it's very different. And a lot of the things that they say aren't wrong. They're just weird. They're just as over exaggerated as learning how to speak from SpongeBob. You're watching from Mexico? Well, welcome. Yeah, it's always cool seeing how many of you guys are watching internationally. What Pokemon should you hunt for in Sun and Moon? Depends on what method you want to do. I've been recommending Feebas/Milotic as an SOS training one this stream, as well as if you're doing some Masuda methoding, I'd go for either one of the starters or for Minior. Adam Dawson, welcome back to the stream. Pokenerd, you are watching from Texas. Nice, man. You got less than 20 days left for holidays. You start on the 11th of September. All right, yeah. So you've got a couple weeks left still. You're from Greece and it's 1:42 a.m. Yeah, no, but that's we've moved the streams up where we've got about 15 minutes left or so for the night. And normally, or before I changed my schedule, we would have actually been starting at about 15 minutes. The streams now end right around the time that they would have started, which is that's just kind of how, like I said, that's how it's kind of switched, and that's just because of my school schedule being different from my work schedule. So before, imagine if you had started watching, imagine that you stayed up for another 3 hours watching this. That's kind of what a lot of the European viewers were doing, which is, it's awesome, and obviously they didn't have to do that, and I didn't have to change the stream or anything, but I want everyone to be able to watch it and also sleep normally. What is my favorite TV show, and what is my favorite movie? TV show changes really often though, I feel. Movie as well. I'm just gonna go with things that I've recently watched within the last 3 months. Even if the show itself isn't recent or the movie isn't recent. The most recent movie that I've seen that I really enjoyed was Baby Driver. That was such a cool movie, especially the opening car chase. As a car guy, actually seeing a movie not be as ridiculous as Fast and Furious has been recently. Baby Driver was awesome movie-wise. And TV shows that I've watched recently is probably I've been rewatching The Office again, and I've been really enjoying it. It's 45 minutes after midnight in France. All right, yeah. See, like I said, just imagine like we're coming kind of to an end of the show. Imagine being up for like another 3 hours with this. That's where it was before. So now it's a little bit. It's still not super great. It's still not super early for you guys, but it's better than it has been. You're on your 9th year of watching anime, and you're 14. Fair enough. I mean, I'm on like, I guess my 4th. I'm ending the 3rd, starting the 4th year of watching anime. Like I didn't pick it up until my senior year of high school. It's 6:44 for you in the U.S. Yeah, for the East Coast, that is the time, and that's why I stream 5 to 7 a.m. or p.m. It is p.m. If you're asking the U.S. one, it is it's 6:46 at night for us right now, p.m. So not night, but like evening. Yeah, also that was military time, so it wasn't exactly a AM or PM, I guess. Yeah, it is PM. Yeah, because I was reading off Marstix. Want to make sure I pronounce it. But I was reading off Marstix. I was just converting it to the way I always look at 12-hour time. Have you ever thought of doing it Nuzlocke? You started Platinum on your channel, and you think I should try it? I am considering trying it, Lex. Basically, what I want to do is I want to do like a randomized Nuzlocke through all of the games, like up through every gen. Not every game, like not like red, green, blue, and yellow or anything, but like do it in red, do it in gold, do it in ruby or emerald, and do like a randomized Nuzlocke, just to mix it up a little bit more. Since for most of those games I don't have a cartridge and I don't have like my cartridge anymore or anything, so I have to get a ROM. So I'd get a randomized ROM for it, just so I'm not like... Basically, I feel a bit better about using like randomized ROMs as opposed to like unrandomized. It feels a little bit less like I'm just taking the game, you know? My girlfriend's here, guys. Sorry, mustache. Randomizer Nuzlocke of Versus. Oh boy. Just start tacking on every twist you can add to a Pokemon Let's Play and do it for every gen. You're 27 and have played Pokemon since '99 with Red and Blue when they were released in the UK, and your favorite Pokemon is Ekans. Nice, man. Yeah, like I said, I'm as old as Pokemon, basically. Like, yeah, the first game's released in, what, like 96, and I was born early 97. So, for me, you know, Pokemon's been around my whole life, but I didn't get to the point of, like, owning any of the games until Gen 3 was out. You just got back from school, figured you might tune in for a bit. Well, welcome, Rune. Glad you were able to make it. I think we're going to go to about 300 tonight, so we're going to pass the 7 o'clock mark, and that's what with these 2-hour streams, that's what I've been doing, is like, the end is around 7, but I'm going to basically go until a nice even number to end on. So we're going to end at 300 for the night. You were born in 1990. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. If I was in 97 and I'm 20 and you're 27. Sounds interesting. I should do it. You'll have to help with randomizing ROM. Thank you, Lex. There's actually websites out there that do the randomizing for you. Like, you input, like, you know, I want the starters randomized. I want, like, I want the music, the sprites? Do I want... Whatever you want randomized, you can put it in and it'll generate the ROM for you. You just, like, check it to make sure that, you know, it's not some kind of broken ROM that's going to crash the game when you encounter a Pokemon that's supposed to replace Zubat, which rip caves. Cuddling Cubone, welcome to the stream. What's my opinion? What in my opinion is the best sweet Pokemon? I have, like, I've stated this a couple times in the streams, but like, or a couple times is an understatement. I am terrible at competitive Pokemon. I have no clue what stats are good for what. Like, obviously I know special defense is good in defending special moves, but like, against special moves, but like, I don't know what stats are good for what Pokemon. FoxyMan1113, thank you for the sub. But like, I don't know, like I say, I don't know which stats are good for what Pokemon, and what Pokemon are good at doing what. I'm literally, like, completely a collector when it comes to Pokemon games, so I'm all about hunting for shinies. I can tell you pretty much the odds of hunting in almost every game, at least that I own. I know how to do most of the methods for hunting, all that kind of stuff. I know that, but I don't know, like, how to build a competitive team. My strategy for beating the games has always just been overlevel like crazy. You remember when I used to stream till 5 a.m. your time, and only one time you stayed up that long? Yes, you know, like you, Filippo, and Nuno are the ones I can think of that tune in regularly that I was streaming so ridiculously late for. Or basically, it's like Filippo and Nuno were already asking, and they're, I think, Nuno's Portugal, Filippo's Italy, and then you are, you know, Greece. So like, for you guys, for you especially, it was really late, and they were already talking about how late it was, you know. So I feel like moving it earlier definitely, it helped. It's not like, you know, great. It's still not super early for you guys, but it's like, it's earlier. You were 10 when Red and Blue came out, felt good to be the right age to be a trainer. That's pretty nice, actually, you know. Like, really kind of feeling like the game is personal, and I'm noticing the stream start to dip now, guys. I don't know if you're noticing any issues. And Gustavo, thank you. Hopefully the luck can arrive quickly, you know, in the next 25 encounters. Randomized trainer Pokemon is an adventure. Yeah, when everything is random, it's like a completely different game, and it almost doesn't make sense anymore. Your neighbor's 47 and has just completed something. Nice. I don't know. I don't personally know anyone that old that's played Pokemon. Running in a Metagross on 3rd trainer was fun. Yeah, that'd be interesting. All right, let's throw my starter out there that may or may not have been like a Weedle. Oh, there's a pseudo-legendary already. Gonna go for Rowlet? Well, good luck. I hope you get it, man. Rowlet is adorable, both shiny and not. You saw a guy do a randomizer Nuzlocke, and he picked Registeel as a starter, and at level 5 it only knew Explosion. Oh boy. 10 out of 10 for winning Nuzlocks. Hey, no other trainer can knock you out. You don't ED or IV train, and what is the point of a Nuzlocke? And the point of a Nuzlocke is just make the game a bit more challenging, especially a lot of people do it with the newer games because they're so hand-holdy that the games almost feel like they aren't a challenge. Like, you're basically just fight every trainer and slowly make your way until you get to the Elite Four and beat them, and there's no, like, need to... There's, like, no challenge in it. You basically just build a team that's good against every type and then just rail them by just attacking and no actual strategy. So, like, the Nuzlocke makes it where if a Pokemon faints, it's gone. You have to delete it from the PC. It's gone. It's basically dead. And you have to catch you can only catch one Pokemon per route, and it has to be the first Pokemon that you encounter on the route. Got a prediction for the Charmander. You just got your Tepig with 2022 resets. Nice, Foxyman. I don't actually have, like, a prediction for the Charmander. Yeah, I really don't. I don't know what number's actually kind of feeling right tonight. I'm not sure. I'm basically just gonna kind of let it roll, go with the flow, you know. Mr. Duck, quack. We'll quack back at you. Try for the number 302 is going to be... I'm going to 300. It'll show as 301 once I actually hit the number. Because basically the last encounter that I do Or, like, that was Encounter 279, and this will be 280. For modern games and Nuzlocke, drop the experience share and it becomes a good challenge. Yeah, like, the experience share alone being an item that covers the whole party now. It basically, the game is designed for you to have it on, so just turning it off is already a decent boost in the challenge for people. But like I said, I'm more of a... I enjoy the story, especially like Sun and Moon with the newer games. And so like, I like the story, and then I immediately go into collector mode after the game. So I really don't... The challenge isn't as big of a deal for me. It more or less lets me get to the part of the game I find more fun. Lightning Shock, you're new? Well, welcome to the stream, Lightning Shock. Just got a Magnemite on Pokemon Black. Nice, kitty. You've hatched 3 Eevee eggs. You hope that it'll get it soon. If you won't get it at the 10th egg, you'll continue tomorrow. You'd be pretty lucky to get it tonight, but that'd be awesome if you did, man. You've got to go for the night. Good luck with the rest of the encounters. Well, thank you, OGs. I'm glad you were able to stick around for as long as you did. I hope to see you again next time, man. What did Mr. Duck use to fix his quacked pencils? Duct tape. Ah. I would imagine so. Duct tape is a pretty good brand of duct tape. What is my favorite Pokemon region? That is Hoenn. Mainly because my first gen was Gen 3, so Sapphire and Emerald were like the first games I played. And then when I got back into Pokemon right before I started college was when Alpha Sapphire was like, or like Oras was the main game. So I picked up Alpha Sapphire when I got my 3DS. Because I didn't really play... I played part of Pearl, I got a little bit through it, and then my DS got broken. And I didn't get a 3DS until... so I wasn't able to play the second half of Gen 4, any of Gen 5, or the first half, or like X and Y in Gen 6, just because I didn't have a system to play it on. Then I picked up a 3DS right before I started college and picked up Alpha Sapphire for it. So like, Hoenn has so many memories for me of like starting to learn Pokemon and then getting back into it. So Hoenn's just like my favorite region. Even if my favorite game is something like Sun, just because the story and the shiny hunting, I've done it. There's no region can beat Hoenn just for the memories I have. Adductor. Oh, man. So there are duck puns in the chat now, guys. I know a lot of the people here... OG's just left, man. The Pokepun Master. Will I do some battles with you guys in Oras or Sun and Moon? Concha, maybe. The only thing really stopping me from doing this, I'm terrible with competitive, so you guys would destroy me every single battle. But not as much like that. Not like I'm a sore loser or anything, but more. I would want to be able to stream those if I did them. You know, like that would be the fun of it. Would be like being able to stream it and like experience with everyone. Basically, have everyone in the kind of the chat like battling me and stuff, and like be able to talk about it and everything. Like that'd be the fun of it. But I don't have a 3DS capture card yet. I want to get one, but they're just so expensive. Even like the new 2DS capture cards, which would be a little bit cheaper, aren't that much cheaper. They're still like $500. Do I think gyms will return in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon? You really miss gyms. I was kind of hoping for it. I was, you know, not like super hyping gyms will be back or anything. I was hoping that those 8 empty lots in Sun and Moon had turned into gyms, but it doesn't look like they did. It looks like they became other like almost like contest halls again or something, which I don't know. And they may also be different on each lot. You never know. But on both when they showed you walking through the city past one of the old lots, it had something in there. And then if you look at like the big map, as well as like having that giant hole ripped in it, look at hill being drained, a couple of the like beaches being moved around. If you look at where those empty spots are, there are things in all of them. So people are thinking they'd be gyms, but it doesn't look like they are. But you never know. It'd be kind of cool to see him come back. Because I don't know how they'd mix up trials enough for them to be really different this time. You'd like to see gyms in Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon? Me too, Mau Mau. Have I ever played Coliseum or XD Gale of Darkness? I haven't, actually. Because as a kid, I didn't own any of the consoles those were on. You want gyms back in the series? I do as well. I don't think they're gone permanently. I think Alola is just the only place that they really did it. Game Freak basically went, Alola, here's a region that is very far away and very different from the normal Pokemon games, to give them an excuse to try out ideas that they've been holding on to for probably like 20 years now. Some of these ideas are just like probably ideas that they've had in notebooks, like, wow, that's a cool idea, but it doesn't fit the style of our Pokemon games right now. So I think Alola was a bit of like a culmination of some of Game Freak's wilder ideas that just wouldn't be bad for a game, but don't work with the current, like, didn't work with the current universe. So Alola is now a remote region that had a lot of different things in it. It's like establishing itself as a league, so they didn't like have the normal gyms and stuff. But you never know. They may, because they established like the Elite Four and everything, they may be like becoming more official and adding gyms. You never know. We'll just have to wait to see. You know the price about the DS with Capture Card. Maybe there's some with Capture Card on eBay for $300. I mean, the thing is, like, I'm hoping to be able to get one before Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon come out. We'll just like I'll just have to see, like, because basically I'm in college full time, so I don't have a job right now or anything. I work internships over the summer and stuff, which they pay decently, but they pay for like a third of the year, and then I have to go the rest of the year without any kind of income. So it's a matter of me having to determine like if I have enough savings versus just like how much money am I gonna need for the rest of the year? Can I afford to buy that card? Gyms should return in the Diamond and Pearl remakes. Oh, they definitely will. I mean, it's the same way, like, you know, look at X and Y. They removed the Pokemart. They built it into the Pokemon Center, and Oras still had like Pokemarts. They wouldn't drop that kind of stuff. Like, they wouldn't remove they wouldn't remove massive things like that from a remake. They would definitely return in the remake. But I have a feeling in general, if Gen 8 isn't another extremely remote and different area, that it's going to end up going back to a more similar to an 8-gym format. You think Sinnoh remakes will be on the 3DS? I'm actually not sure about that, Adam. Unless Gen 8 stays on the 3DS and 9's on the Switch, I don't think we'll see it on the 3DS. Because I also believe we're going to start seeing remakes every other gen instead of, like, you know, randomly. Because if they don't do it, like, if they do it, they basically have to average it at least every other gen, otherwise it's going to start feeling really weird, and remakes are going to seem like they're coming out way too fast, I think. Personally, a personal opinion. Blue Wire, back on, yeah, hopefully we're back. Yeah. I don't know why, the internet's just like, sometimes I just completely lose it, and I just have to disconnect from the Wi-Fi and reconnect, and it comes right back. It's weird, the way the internet here works is like, you have to register the MAC address of your devices, and it connects to the network, and then like, my phone drops the internet every 15 minutes. Like, I have to go in, and it's like, oh, you don't have internet on the Wi-Fi, which is just so, it's really dumb. Game Freak will keep making games for the 3DS. I mean, they've said that they're working. They are releasing mainstream Pokemon games on like the Switch, because people are really upset that Pokken was what was announced for the Switch and not a like Pokemon Stars on the Switch or something. I don't know how long it will be. They may still be making several games for the 3DS. They didn't give any kind of time frame for it, is what they left out for obvious reasons. Logan Hancock, next one, we will see. Maybe it will be 291. That would be pretty awesome. I mean, Vanillix, they haven't stated when they're moving, but I feel like I feel like Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon being essentially the same map with minor tweaks and things that appear to be like even already on the game cartridges for Sun and Moon, but just unfinished. I feel like it's going to be a lot of the things they wanted to put in Sun and Moon, but did not quite get. And that's so that most of their team can be focused on developing a whole new engine for the Switch. Like, I think that's why Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon are kind of the weird sequel games. Almost the same reason, I guess, maybe as Black 2, White 2 being the last games before XY. I don't know. That's complete speculation on my part. I have like no way of knowing any of this. This is just me trying to think as a like computer science major and someone who's worked in companies that develop like public-facing software. Jack Dash, welcome to the stream. You don't like Nintendo Switch, you prefer the 3DS. Fair enough, Mau. I get that. Personally, I also feel like I don't know how I feel about Pokemon on the Switch. Like, I'm not saying I'm hoping for it, but I know they've already said they're doing it, so it's going to happen eventually. But even, I own a Switch, I own a 3DS. I so much prefer carrying my 3DS with me when I go places. Just because I feel so much more comfortable about it, because the screen, it covers itself, the screens stay protected, the buttons aren't like, it's not like there's Joy-Cons on the side to warp and like torque if you don't take them apart. So I can pick my 3DS up, throw it in my pocket, and walk out the door. The Switch, I have a carrying case for it because like it's really, really risky to not have a carrying case when you move it around. Your duck senses predict a shiny Charmander in less than 10 encounters. Alright, Mr. Duck. I believe that you are telling the truth and that we should be able to get the shiny before the end of the stream. Yeah, no, I don't think anyone here is saying, like, I'm ready for the Switch to have Pokemon games. Like, it's going to be a really weird paradigm shift with them doing that, because it's more than just a UI redesign. And they've got to design a Pokemon game that naturally works on a big screen and feels comfortable as a console game. Like, as a, like, home console game, which really just doesn't fit with Pokemon. Like, it's never been like how Pokemon's been played. Sun and Moon have lots of hints pointing towards Sinnoh remakes, and you want to know what Mimikyu's true form looks like. That would be cool to see what Mimikyu's form looks like, and I would love Sinnoh remakes, Gen 7 or Gen 8. But personally, I feel like remakes are going to be happening, like I said, Gen 8. Just that's my personal thoughts on it. I feel like, because aside from Gen 3, granted, we haven't had enough like remakes really for there to be an established pattern, and I know Game Freak hates letting people figure out a pattern. There's a reason that we've had like, you know, Gen 1 there was 4 games, and one of them was like a completely special edition. One was a bug fix. You know, then Gen 2 had 3 games, and then it was a definitive. Gen 3 was the same way, but they added remakes. Gen 4 had the exact same layout as Gen 3. Then Gen 5 was just 2 games and sequels. Gen 6 was 2 games and 2 remakes, that was it. No, like, Z game. You know, like, Game Freak's very inconsistent with what they do, and they do that on purpose. So there's not really a way to guess it, but I feel like remakes... We're not going to see remakes in consecutive gens too much, because otherwise it's going to get really close together where we start seeing remakes that don't... It doesn't feel like it's been long enough for there to be remakes. You hope that they won't be the last games on the 3DS. Yeah, it's really going to be a matter of how does Game Freak be like, haha, this is how we worded it. Because they've said, yes, they are starting to work. There will be mainstream Pokemon games on the Switch. Basically to calm everyone down after that Pokemon Direct that went over terribly with the public because everyone was like, Switch? Switch? Ah, Pokken. So obviously, like, they had to calm the people who are screaming Game Freak hates money, but they also don't want to, like, be like, yeah, the next games we make after USUM are gonna be a Gen 8 on the Switch or anything. Like, they're not gonna confirm that until they're releasing the videos for it. I mean, yeah, like, technically 3DS and DS are different generations of systems, the same way that, you know, you wouldn't, Norma Reyes, thank you for the sub, the same way you wouldn't say that, you know, the Gen 1 remakes, Kanto remakes, were on the same system because they were on, Game Boy Advance instead of the Game Boy. Like, they are still different systems, they are different architectures and stuff. It would be a cool way for it to end, I just don't, they'd have to redo Sinnoh's map. Justin Keeley, thank you for the sub. They have to redo Sinnoh's map. And I feel like with them having mentioned that they're working on the Switch, like they're starting development on the Switch, they have a lot of their resources dedicated to that. as opposed to people working on the mechanics behind getting Sinnoh working in Gen 7, unfortunately. I just, again, personal thoughts on it. None of what I say is guaranteed to be right or wrong. You hate the fact that you have to buy the new console to play the new Pokemon games. You have a Nintendo DSi XL in 2 years before you got your 3DS. Yeah, I mean, that's like the big hesitation I get a lot of people is like, you know, I don't want to buy a new system to play the next Pokemon game. But there is a point where they're going to have to move out the system. Like, they can't make them for the 3DS forever, unfortunately. Like, that's just how technology works, is eventually the games are always going to end up looking the same. They can only get so graphically intense before the system just can't handle it anymore. That type of deal. Sinnoh has a huge amount. Exactly. CZ, so have I gotten it yet? I have not. Unfortunately, we haven't gotten either Charmander or Trico yet. So we are still just sitting here hunting. And I said I'm going to 300 for the night, so we have 2 more encounters plus a Bulbasaur. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire were the best ever remakes. As someone who hasn't played the Gen 2 remakes, I would agree. I did love ORAS. Those are like the games that got me back into Pokemon, plus being a massive Hoenn fanboy. Like, I loved those remakes so much. Sinnoh's your favorite region. You personally want remakes of it on the Switch because you want it to be as amazing as possible. Fair enough. Yeah, like I do not doubt that the games will look beautiful. They will look amazing once they're on the Switch. I love the fact that, like, with my 3DS, I can have it in my pocket. I can get literally like 2 minutes of free time, pull out the 3DS and play Pokemon for those 2 minutes before putting it away. The Switch, I have it in like my carrying case, so I have to like get the case that's too big for my pocket out of my bag, unzip it, take the Switch out, be able to start playing it, and then know I need to put it up and put it away in the time. And like, it's the same amount of time. The amount of time it takes for me to do that is an amount of time that I can actually utilize to play Pokemon on my 3DS. You don't want anything to do with the Switch. I love the Switch. It's just, I get where it's this weird hybrid it's a massive difference in Pokemon. Even like going to the DS wasn't that big of a deal because the SP already resembled it in a way. And, you know, the folding screen, it was a mobile system with cartridges in it and stuff. But the Switch is really different, and it's gonna be weird when like people can play Pokemon with a Pro Controller. And guys, encounter 300 for Charmander was not shiny, so we are going to end this stream by doing one Bulbasaur encounter. And just while we end this stream, guys, I would just like to say again to everyone who liked and subscribed during this stream, you know, everyone who likes the stream, that means a lot because it helps out with YouTube sharing the video, and for everyone who subs, it means a lot that you guys are interested enough to stick around and see when I come up with new stuff. And so, yeah, guys, we're going to end this with a Bulbasaur. And then we will be back on streaming tomorrow with a Trico hunt, guys. So let's see, moment of truth, I guess, once the rival picks their Pokemon. Let us check here, guys. And unfortunately, Bulbasaur also was not shiny. So again, thank you guys for everyone who tuned in, was talking in the chat, who, you know, subscribed during this stream, who has stayed subscribed for a while. And I hope to see you guys again in the next one. So until next time, guys, bye.